The official poverty rate in the United States is 12.7%, but according to a new study by the United Way ALICE Project, 43% of American families don't earn enough on a monthly basis to cover basic expenses like rent, food, healthcare, childcare, transportation, or a cell phone. That figure includes about 16 million families that are in poverty. It also includes 34.7 million families who work and earn enough that, formally speaking, they're not in poverty. They are technically middle class, but as wages stagnate and housing prices skyrocket, the economic security and quality of life we usually associate with the term middle class just gets further and further out of reach. It's no wonder millennials are the highest educated but most debt-burdened generation in American history. United Way calls the people who fall into this gap not in poverty, but still struggling to make ends meet the ALICE cohort, asset-limited, income-constrained, employed. ALICE, this report argues, is the new American middle class. ALICE is your childcare worker, your parent on to Social Security, the cashier at your supermarket, the gas attendant, the salesperson at your big box store, your waitress, a home health aide, an office clerk. ALICE cannot always pay the bills, has little or nothing in savings, and is forced to make tough choices such as deciding between quality childcare or paying the rent. One unexpected car repair or medical bill can push these financially strapped families over the edge. We tend to measure the health of the economy by the unemployment rate or the stock market. But the unemployment rate has been falling for a decade, stocks are at an all-time high, yet almost half of American families still live financially precarious lives. Maybe it's time to start measuring the economy's health in terms of how it affects our material lives. You can check out United Way's full report here. Image credit, people demanding action by Sejal Singh. By Sejal Singh. By Sejal Singh. Harvard graduate students are voting on whether to unionize this week. If they win, they'll join a growing trend of graduate students unionizing to fight stagnant wages, stingy health plans, and long-standing gender imbalances in academia. In the Trump era, fancy universities like to sell themselves as bastions of progressive values. But you wouldn't know it from how they treat the graduate students who teach and research there. The pay is low, and at some schools, it's even falling in real terms. For example, at Harvard Law School, where I'm a student, hourly pay for research assistants has not budged from $11.50 an hour, and Harvard graduate students are voting on whether to unionize this week. If they win, they'll join a growing trend of graduate students unionizing to fight stagnant wages, stingy health plans. Read more. Millennials are having fewer kids than past generations, but not for the reasons conservatives think. It's because we just can't afford them. According to new data from the CDC, 2016 had the lowest birth rate on record, at 62 births per 1,000 women of childbearing age. As one demography expert bluntly told The Washington Post, it's about millennials. A recent piece in the New York Times noted that, in surveys, women are having fewer kids than they say they want to. That author, along with other commentators, blames birth control, abortion access, or millennials are having fewer kids than past generations, but not for the reasons conservatives think. It's because we just can't afford them. According to new data from the CDC. Read more. Editor's note: this post was co-authored by Sejal Singh and Meg Shri. West Virginia teachers came to win. After a massive 9-day teacher strike which closed schools across every county in West Virginia, teachers this week secured a 5% raise and a hold on skyrocketing healthcare costs. Now, the West Virginia teachers are inspiring working women across the country, and proving that progressive organizing and collective action, not milquetoast centrism or reactionary racism, is the way to win in so-called Trump country. Here are our biggest takeaways: strikes work, and we need to see more of them. As Joe Burns has written. Editor's note: this post was co-authored by Sejal Singh and Meg Shri. West Virginia teachers came to win. After a massive 9-day teacher strike which closed schools across every county in West Virginia, teachers this week read more.